Alright, welcome. We're actually gonna do a pickups video today. I haven't done one of these in like 15 months, I think. I think the last one was the is it worth it nonsense that I did. But yeah, this is actually gonna be pickups for the entire year last year. Obviously I'm not gonna show everything because this video would be like, an hour, 2 hours long. But I'll just kind of show the highlights, and if you want to see everything that I picked up, there's actually two ways you can do that. If you follow me on Twitter, I post everything I pick up there. I'm also going to start posting it on my Discord, so if you don't like Twitter, come check out the Discord. You can see everything that I picked up, not just the highlights. And I don't know if I'm going to do more pickup videos. We'll see. There's just a lot of stuff here that I wanted to talk about, so yeah, let's get into it. And some of these are things I bought myself, some were gifts from other YouTubers, some were games that I bought from other YouTubers, and any YouTuber I mention, I will throw a link down in the description. And I don't have gameplay footage for all these, but if I do, find it up here. And let's get going. So first item I got this year was the PlayStation 4, and I'm not going to show the system obviously because it's hooked up to the TV. Can't show you the box because my PlayStation 3 Slim is in it right now. It's way up there. Actually fits really well inside of that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the system a lot. It has a lot of RPGs that I want to play on it and that I've already bought. And actually, there's a lot in this pile here, and that's why this is all like tipped over because my PS4 stuff is right here. But yeah, it's a great system. I really love this controller. I think it might be my favorite controller of all time. Finally, something replaced the PS1 DualShock. But yeah, it's really comfortable. It's got a great D-pad. I'm not a fan of the options and share buttons because they're like, in the heat of the moment, it can be really hard to find the options button to pause the game. But yeah, it's really cool. Another thing I like is that you can stream directly from it. Although I'm actually not going to be doing that anymore. If I do stream from it, it's going to be running through OBS with my, whatever overlay I want and the chat and all that. But yeah, PS4. Okay, and then this is a game I wanted to get for quite a while, and when I got my PS4, I finally got around to picking it up, and that is World of Final Fantasy. I actually did buy this on the Vita originally, but after I bought it, I realized it's not compatible with the PlayStation TV, which is the only Vita I have, so I got rid of that one. As soon as I got the PS4, I hunted this game down, played through it pretty much immediately, and I really enjoyed it. The art style is it's atrocious, but the gameplay is really fun. It's kind of like Final Fantasy Pokemon. It's got a pretty interesting story. The one bummer is the ending is kind of lackluster, and you have to go through like the post-game stuff to get the true ending. That was kind of disappointing, but a great game otherwise. Okay, next item I got is another system, and once again I'm not going to show it because it's in my setup right now, but it is a Japanese Saturn. And I wanted to get this because my phone's going off behind me. So I got this because I was playing Tengai Makio on the Saturn last year, and I got to the end of disc 1, and I had no way to advance on my American Saturn. So I had to put the game on hold for, I don't know, like 6-7 months or so. Finally got a Japanese Saturn. As soon as I did, I played through the rest of the game. Loved it. Obviously, I put a review up on it. You can check that out. And yeah, the system is great. Another bonus to that, besides being able to play Tengai Makio all the way through, is that I can now fully play King of Fighters 95? It's behind me. Because King of Fighters 95 has a ROM cartridge. Yeah, a ROM cartridge, where actually some of the game's data is on the cartridge itself. So if you just try playing it from the disc only, it's going to be missing like frames of animation and stuff. So yeah, that was an added bonus, but I kind of suck at that game. But Anyways, Japanese Saturn. Okay, next 3 items. I actually bought a few more from him, but Import Gaming for the win was getting rid of some stuff, and he posted a few pictures, and I found like 6-7 titles that I was really looking forward to getting, so I bought them from him, and here's 2 of them. This is Tomba, and then Tail Concerto. Obviously these are the Japanese versions. The American releases of both of these games are quite pricey, and I did not want to pay that much for them. I did have Tomba back in the day, and I really enjoyed it a lot. But you know, when the PlayStation 2 came out, I sold all my PS1 games for the most part, and I was always kicking myself because when I looked it up, it was always like super expensive. Tail Concerto, I played a demo of it back in the day. It looked really cool. I just never got around to picking it up. Another one I got from him was Chocobo Collection, which is pretty interesting. It's actually Chocobo Racing, Dice de Chocobo, and a game called Chocobo Stallion, which I originally planned on doing a review on because there were no reviews on YouTube, and there was just a little bit of gameplay footage. From what I understood, it was supposed to be kind of like the breeding racing minigame in Final Fantasy VII. But after popping it in, it's really not. And like the Japanese in the game is really super advanced. It uses a lot of kanji that I'm not familiar with. So like I even tried cheating and using Google Translate, but that was not reliable at all, because like I'd move my phone just slightly and the words would totally change. I'm like, okay. But yeah, there was another issue too, is this is one of those games that has like the 480i start menu, and some of the in-game menus might be 480i, and then the gameplay is 240p. So whenever that switch happens, it wreaks havoc with the Elgato, and the footage I did capture corrupted. So that pretty much could put the kibosh on the review for this. So whatever. But I have Chocobo Racing, and I'll check out Dice de Chocobo. Oh, one more thing about this is the Chocobo Stallion. The racing in the game, like Final Fantasy VII, the racing, it's it's not the best mini game ever, but it's very interactive. The racing in this is very passive. You just watch your Chocobos race, and I was not enjoying that. Alright, next up, I have 2 finds from my local game store, and this actually completed one of my subsets, and actually there's 2 more subsets that could get completed in this video. Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation, and Chronicles. This one I really enjoyed back in the day. It takes place all in Egypt, which is really cool. You know, goes back to tomb raiding, which is what the series is all about. This one I really didn't care for. It's basically like people remembering Laura's adventures, and I don't know, it's just not that good. Okay, next one is another system. And I bought this because last year I tried doing a shell swap on my PSP, and I failed. I actually broke the screen. I ordered a new screen, and I broke that one. The actual shell swap looks really nice, but you know, this is pretty much just a prop right now. You know, it's unusable. I actually use this right now for when I do live streams. I put my phone on top of it, and you know, I don't have to bend so far to read the chat on my phone. But yeah, it's just a prop right now. So I went ahead and got another PSP, and I got myself a Japanese one, and it's this nice white and blue one here. And apparently this is a Monster Hunter PSP. The weird thing about it is, like, the packaging really doesn't display anything that would indicate that. I'm guessing these were just released alongside the Monster Hunter game. But yeah, it was complete in box with everything inside. There was also a black one with like red buttons and a red back for Monster Hunter, but you know, I wanted the blue one, or the white and blue one. And it's really cool. The only bummer is I forgot that movies are actually region locked, so The one UMD I have, I can't watch unless I borrow my son's PSV. Okay, next one I bought from, well, actually, this one is a channel I used to watch on here called Jake Kristoff, or Jay Kristoff. He doesn't do videos anymore, but, you know, I did watch some of his stuff back in the day, and he's left tons of comments on my videos. On Facebook, he was actually getting rid of some stuff. And it was a Turbo Express and like 5 games, and I was like, and I posted a comment, I'm like, damn, I wish I had money right now, because I would love to own all that. And he private messaged me and asked, you know, what I'd be interested in. And I was like, oh, you know, don't worry about it, because I'm not going to have money for a while, so just go ahead and sell it to somebody else. He got back to me a few days later, asked me for my address, and sent me this. Sidearms, which is a shoot 'em up. Pretty cool game. I don't have a turbo graphics, so I couldn't actually play this this turbo chip. But it is a really cool game. I did fire it up on the Raspberry Pi. I kind of suck at it, but I would like to invest a lot more time into it. And I would like to get like a PC Engine or you know, a Turbo Express sometime in the future. But yeah, that was greatly appreciated. Totally out of the blue, and thank you very much. Okay, next one is one that I used to own on the DS, and they did this re-release earlier this year, and that is Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. I guess it's pronounced Redo. I always thought it was Redux. But yeah, I played through this right away. It was a really cool game. It's actually the first proper Shin Megami Tensei game I played. The only ones I played before were Persona 3, 4, 5, and Q. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like how you had like kind of a dark path and like a good path you can go down. Actually, I think there was a neutral path too. I ended up going down, I think I went down the good path. But yeah, great game, highly recommended. Alright, these next two were given to me by Majority. He had a stack of stuff he was getting rid of, asked me if I wanted any of it. Didn't ask for anything in return, and I was like, wow, thank you. First one is Lost Kingdoms for the GameCube. Can't talk, which happens every video. And this is great because my GameCube collection is really pitiful. Before this, I had like 8 games or something. Pop this in, it's really fun. It's kind of a card-based RPG, which is really weird because the GameCube doesn't have many RPGs, and at least 3 of them are card-based. So I thought that was interesting. It's a really fun game. BioPhoenix did a review on it, which I urge you guys to check out if you're interested in this game at all. And I need to invest more time in it, but I definitely will soon. One of the other games he sent me was Earth Defense Force 4.1, and this game is freaking fantastic. It's my first experience with the series. I actually own one on the 360 called 2025, which I guess is the original version of this. But this one runs much better from what I hear. It's really fun. Tons of insects on screen all at once. Tons of destructible environments. There's like 84 missions or something ridiculous. 4 different classes you can play as. 3 difficulty settings, so you know there is a ton of replay value on here. It's really fun, ridiculous weaponry, ridiculous plot, but that's what makes it so great. I actually did a live stream on this back in May, I think, but yeah, I'll probably have some footage up there for you. Alright, next 3 were from Gameplay and Talk. He was getting rid of some stuff. Found a few things that I wanted. First one is Virtua Cop 2, which I just did a live stream on a couple weeks ago, and this is a great game for the Saturn. Graphically, it might not be the best, but you know it's really fun. The one bummer, which we'll talk about later, is I don't have a CRT anymore, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Next 2 from Austin completed another subset. It's Final Fantasy Origins and Final Fantasy VII which means I have all the Final Fantasy PS1 games, at least the ones with Final Fantasy in the title. I don't have Air Guides or Chocobo Dungeon, but I have, Origins, Anthology, Chronicles 7, 8, 9, and Tactics. So that was much appreciated. Okay, make sure I'm going in the proper order here. Actually, I think that's out of order. Excuse me for a minute. Okay, next item here I won't actually be showing you because it's hooked up to my system right now. But back in, I think it was March, when I was putting together the Tengai Makio review, it was like, this game looks really good, but it could look so much better. And one of my buddies on Facebook posted that HD Retrovision Saturn cables were back in stock. So, I thought about it briefly and then went ahead and ordered them. And the difference was freaking amazing. It was like going from VHS to DVD. It was like such a huge jump in picture clarity. Everything was like, the colors popped a lot more. The text was a hell of a lot sharper. And, I really loved it. The only bummer was that I completely forgot that the Elgato cannot register 240p content, the hell, through component cables. So, unfortunately, I had to cancel like all Saturn streams and reviews for a while. And then I looked into ways to get around that. And, I started watching My Life in Gaming's channel quite a bit because they cover a lot of these devices. And I also asked several friends on YouTube, and I ended up deciding to get this. The XRGB Mini, the FrameMeister. This was not cheap. It was pretty ridiculously expensive, but for me personally, it's definitely worth it. The jump in quality on anything going through like component or RGB is freaking insane. Even S-Video looks really good on this thing. Unfortunately, I'm not 100% equipped to fully utilize this. I don't have my NES modded so it can do, RGB out or anything. But, PlayStation 2, I can do Saturn. My GameCube's running through S-Video. I need to upgrade my Dreamcast, though. Yeah, it's really cool. And one reason, which might sound kind of stupid, but one reason why I picked this over the OSSC is I never liked the actual design of the OSSC. It looks like a high school electronics project. It has a very, very unfinished look, which I know a lot of people in the community really like. But I like this because, it's in a proper case. It looks professional. It's actually surprisingly light for such a high-end piece of equipment. But yeah, I'm really happy about that. And one of the other main reasons I bought it, which actually was the main reason, is because I can zoom in on PSP footage, which, it still does look a little blurry, but it looks a hell of a lot better than if I just tried to record PSP, through the Elgato and then try to enlarge it, in my video editing software. It looks a lot better than if I were to do it that way. But yeah, we're nearing the end here. Okay, just seeing what we're looking at for time. Okay, so I said earlier that I don't have a CRT anymore, so Virtua Cop 2, I can play it with this, and it works pretty well for the easy stages. But once you get into the medium and expert stages, it gets really tough. It's just really hard to be precise and fast with this thing. Even though there is a speed up button, like you hold down B and it'll speed up your cursor a little bit. I did not want to get a CRT again because we just got rid of 2 of them this year, and I was really happy to be finally done with them. Unfortunately, that means light gun games are out. Unless I get this. And this is the Sega Saturn mouse. Obviously, it's not going to be compatible with everything. It's only got A, B, C, and then the start button there. But yeah, it's really weird because it's actually got a ball on the bottom. and I haven't used one of those in quite some time. But yeah, it works really well. I just did the Virtua Cop 2 Saturn stream a couple weeks ago, and I played through the whole game on stream, and it was a lot of fun. Much easier with this thing. There is, I'll try to post in Discord, there is a list of compatible Saturn games. I have to find it again. But yeah, this Virtua Cop 2 is the only one I have for it right now, but I'm looking forward to getting more. Okay, and then earlier this year, a game came out that I was really hyped for on the PS4, and that is Dragon Quest XI. And big fan of the series ever since I started with Dragon Quest VIII. Was really excited to get this one. Excuse me. And I played through it right away. Loved every minute of it. It's so close to being my favorite Dragon Quest game of all time. I still prefer 8 just a little bit. But this was amazing. Like, really fantastic story. Great gameplay. I know a lot of people complain about the music. I thought the MIDI tracks sounded fine. It seemed to repeat a little too often. But yeah, really fun game. I haven't done the post-game content yet, but I will get to that eventually. I wanted to take a break though, because I actually did play through the hell is it called? The bonus dungeon in Dragon Quest VIII, the Dragovian Trials, that's it. I finally beat that this year, and after doing that and then tackling the main game of this, I was kind of DQ'd out, so I'm taking a break, but I'll get back to it. Okay, this one I just picked up recently. It was actually at Shopko, I think is the name of the store. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a Shopko, but it's like a really ghetto rundown version of Target. They don't have much of anything, but they did have a small game section, and they had a bunch of games that were clearancing out, and one of them was this one. A game I forgot existed, and that's Geometry Wars 3. And I played through the main game of this. It is amazing. I said earlier in Discord that I still prefer Galaxies. This one actually might be my favorite now that I played through the rest of it. It's a little bit confusing though at first, because with the previous Geometry Wars games, they were all two-dimensional, on a flat battlefield. This one though takes place on like 3D environments, so it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's really fun. And after you beat the main game, there's actually there's an advanced mode. That might not be the proper name. And then there's like an expert mode, and then there's like retro challenges or something. There's a lot to this game. But yeah, really fun, highly recommended. And then this one, I was at my local Walmart, and I had no idea this was on DVD. It came out on Netflix, and everybody raved about it, so I wanted to see it one day, but we don't have Netflix, and I don't want to get it because... Well, okay, the reason I don't want to get Netflix is because we had it, the trial version, a while back, and every time I wanted to see a movie, I'd go to stream it, and it told me that that movie is not available for streaming, it's only available as a DVD, so I'd have to wait in the mail for it, and I didn't want to do that, so I was like, you know what, I'm done with that. I'll just stick to Hulu. But yeah, this came out, and I had no idea it was out. Castlevania Netflix, and I gotta say, this is fantastic. I usually hate video game adaptations for like movies or TV shows because the writing is always bad. They try to stick too closely to the game. And I don't know, they just usually mess it up, but this one is actually cool. And it actually made me care about a Castlevania story, which is something that the games do not do. But yeah, we watched this right away. We watched all 5 episodes, is it? It's like an hour and a half long. It's fantastic. Highly recommended. Can't wait for season 2. Which I know is out on Netflix right now, but like I said, I don't have it, so I'll have to wait for the DVD. Alright, and then we're getting towards the end here. I have a couple of pawn shop finds. I got a game that completed yet another subset, and that is Donkey Kong Country 2. on the Game Boy Advance. Haven't fired this one up yet, but I love the Super Nintendo version. It's actually my favorite platform game of all time. I'm just hoping with this one that they did not change the music, because I know Donkey Kong Country 3, they did change the music for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it's a really fun game. Obviously, it controls better on the SNES and it has better sound quality. But I played through 1 and 3 on the Game Boy Advance, and they were both excellent. Okay, here's another one I got from the pawn shop. It is a Dracula, or Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, and it is a NES cart with herpes on it, apparently. I did pop it in, it does work and everything. And I looked online to see if like this could damage my games or anything, you know, putting it next to my good ones, and I don't see anything that indicates it's going to harm my games in any way. If anybody can say otherwise, please let me know down in the comments, or this is actually going to be a premiere, so you can throw it in the live chat too. But yeah, I haven't played through it yet, but you know, I was really looking forward to getting this game someday, and finally happy to get it in my collection. It's actually been a long time since I added Castlevania games to my collection. Okay, and the last one here is one that I had on the PS3, and it's a strategy game I really loved. It's pretty amazing, great story, awesome visuals, great gameplay, and that is Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. And I kind of made like an unofficial rule for the channel when I came back this year, or last year, that I'm not going to review modern games anymore. Main reason is because there's just too much competition. Like, it's hard enough to get views these days, and you know, I'm not one of those people that bitches about views, but you know, it's hard enough to get views, and with all the like review copies that go out these days, you know, me posting a review on this like 2-3 years after it came out, you know, I might get like 50 views for it, and that's it. I'm going to make an exception for this one, though, because it's a game that's really special to me. Plus, it kind of ties in with a game I'm going to review before it. This is a really long video. I'm starting to lose my concentration here. But yeah, it kind of is similar in some ways to a game I'm going to review before it. So we will tackle that when it happens. I'm thinking this one will be in March and the other game will be in February. Depends on how much time I have. But yeah, I'm really happy to have that. I popped it in, played the first 2 chapters. Plays wonderfully. It's 1080p now and 60 frames per second, which I don't care about. I mean, I'm fine with 720, 30 frames. And I really don't notice that much of a difference graphically, but the gameplay is fun, the story is great, and really that's all that matters. And yeah, I think that's it. So I want to thank you guys very much for watching, sticking through all the way to the end. And there may be some more of these pickup videos in the future. Anyone I named in this video will be down in the description once again. And if you want to see all my pickups, check me out on Twitter or on Discord. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.